let's get cracking with our target reveal. Our target tonight is Pfizer.
Oh, this
Nothing
makes a
like
lot
a
of
little
sense.
big pharma action.
That one really does get a YouTube face. I was not expecting that.
This is a financial target, but like I said, the data is going to go in some very interesting directions. Let's see. Dick, why don't you go first tonight?
Okay. Well, right off the bat, I start with this is determined not by markets, but by committee, a planning council, a board of governors. It's a predetermined thing. Regulatory agency officials look the other way or bend the rules, set something in motion or allow it to happen, a domino effect. Interesting. Didn't get the drugs, but got some behind the scenes stuff.
All right. How about Derek? Let's go through your data.
Big screen presentation, sensing desperation in the presenter. Individual on stage is sales pitch feel to the presentation, large audience of stakeholders. And then for life human, um, not good. I got that drowning in debt feeling here. Misplaced optimism, going to impact a lot of people one way or the other. And then I got this like that it's like, what is that, Greek mythology, trapped between Scylla and Charybdis. It's a concept. Not good though. Kind of be trapped between a rock and a hard place would be the modern day version of that. But and then my sense of this target is it involves a firm or group trying to improve its financial position, stock price value, equity, but is and was unable to predict larger market forces outside competition, economic climate change that ultimately hurts its position, and not for lack of trying or wanting effort, but overall, I just had a really negative feel for this target.
All right, Mr. Edward, let's see your session.
Okay, how interesting. As a result, another element experiences a surge, like a pressure now builds up in the next thing. So they're kind of going from one thing to the next was what I was trying to describe here, where they pump it and then it's like a bubble. They pump it here and then it goes down and they pump it over here. It's like kind of like a whack-a-mole kind of thing. It's like a series of bubbles moving the pressure from one thing to the next, like a pandemic to the next thing or whatever. One bubble to another, and it's a manipulation. And then I saw this ring around this table here. And it was like a ring of 10 people, and they seemed to be the decision makers here. The strong sense of manipulation is all around. So there's a couple of these manipulators around this table. The notion here is they decide to push something up. The strategy seems to be by deflating something else. And so they're sitting around and they're saying, let's push it. So they decide when the push goes up, they decide when something gets deflated, and that kind of manipulation. So my chart, so like my 30-day chart was, pretty much across, but then here was the bubble area. So, and then comes back down, so it bubbles and then it comes back down.
How about you, Mr. Naeem?
This is an interesting one. A service or recommendation, a path or route of action or fulfillment. And I felt like something having to do with financial advisors or gatekeepers being involved with this. And kind of like the idea or concept here was like being steered into a certain direction, kind of like herding sheep, the act of the shepherd dog or the wolf corralling the sheep. So, I guess that that's kind of funny that was, this is on a Pfizer target. And the sense of a halt or a stop, a moment of panic or a freeze having to do with this, I guess their stock or something to do with the trading. And then here I see the guy, and the sense here is like a reevaluation, a trade skip or a halt. And I kind of just looked up. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Trade skip. I just looked that up. That has to do with like when a trading is like stopped on a certain thing, and it could have to do with like regulations or glitches in the system. But my sense is that there's going to be a trade skip or a halt in association with the Pfizer stock. A change in the way the trades are made, having something to do with some authority. So we'll see what happens with that. And the charts here, 2-year some peaks, a dip, ups and downs, but it felt overall negative.
All right, Daz, let's see your data.
Okay, all right, all right, all right. Good stuff so far. The logo and brand I tried to describe, I felt it was very formal. It was a dark blue color. It was corporate. It was a logo that incorporated words between 4 and 7 letters. I couldn't quite get what they were, but it was like a bowed word, and it was a word logo here. And I think it's like 6 letters, so I think that's pretty good on that. But their whole brand letter kind of thing was very strong, powerful presence, and had a very strong corporate feel to it. And then I had some notes on this. I think I'm near the end of this. I didn't really do an awful lot, but the target felt kind of out of range for me. Like I wasn't quite on target to it at the time, but it felt very off to me, and I couldn't put my finger on it. It didn't. It felt not quite right. Like they were doing something dodgy, or that they had a dodgy past with partners on operations. And I felt like this was to do with governments, corporations, part military, drugs, and CIA. And it felt like it was a global operation on many levels, many multi-layered, large-scale manipulation. Yeah. So on the chart here, downwards trend, but with a peak at the end of the year. And at the end of 2 years, or during 2 years, I had a bigger peak, but starting to go down again in whatever year that would be there.
All right, and last but certainly not least, Mr. John, let's see your data.
Okay. Then I saw this chart of, it looked like a financial chart. I'm sorry, I don't have a scale, but I just saw this. It was choppy, but overall heading down. Going on into S2 Nemo, I got somebody holding a box, and I got vials all lined up like a manufacturing facility, and I saw the people on the line watching the boxes, and there was some sort of type of product like the vials inside. So mass production operation, factory setting feels sterile. I closed my eyes and I saw what looked like cells. And but these little black things were moving in and like attacking the cells. It was the weirdest visual I had on a blackboard in a long time. But I was like at the molecular level looking at these cells, and they were being attacked and invaded. And this is kind of like those videos you see of the mRNA vaccines working with live blood, now that I know what the target is. I saw this huge, like, I can't really, I didn't really capture it, but this is like a warehouse, factory, just a sprawling campus where a huge operation. It was like government and business was blended. Like it wasn't the government, it wasn't a business. Dirty deals, not in the best interest of us was the main thing I got. And that's that's what I had.
Wow.
Nice
Good,
session.
good sessions, Sean. Your cancer data was quite ominous.
Yeah, very.
That was very
The
nice.
vials, yeah, and the hypodermic needle.
Yep, totally makes sense now.